In India, during 1991, a committee was framed called Narsimham Committee to overcome the shortcomings of the financial system. So, because there were many weaknesses in financial system before 1991, and the Narsimham Committee identified those weaknesses. They found out that banks were not controlled and they were over or under regulated, which means they were not controlled properly, and a large proportion of funds went to government through cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, and therefore there was decrease in resources of the banks to provide loans. So banks were short of funds. Banks did not have funds to provide loans because most of the funds from bank went to government. So what banks did was they charged higher interests for the loans provided, and further there was no transparency and their balance sheets did not match their financial positions. So because of the issues mentioned before, bank did not maintain transparency. Bank started hiding their financial positions, and therefore the balances with the balance sheet and their financial position did not match, and all these were revealed by 1992 scarcity scam triggered by Harshad Mehta. So all these came into light when Harshad Mehta's scandal came into light. So it was revealed when Harshad Mehta's case happened, and the financial sector reforms aimed at removing all those weaknesses of the financial system. After the Harshad Mehta's case, the financial system of India planned and thought to remove all these weaknesses of the financial system, and therefore they launched the financial sector reforms. Reforms means changes. So the Indian financial system wanted to make changes in financial system, and therefore they launched the financial sector reforms in 1992. And these changes were made in all the three sectors of financial system. The three sectors of financial system are banking sector, capital market sector, and government securities market. So what does financial sector reforms mean? Here we are going to study about reforms in Indian financial system, or financial sector reforms 1992. So what does financial sector reforms mean? Reforms in financial system or financial sector reforms means changes in banking system, capital market, and also government securities market. So because there were many weaknesses and shortcomings in the financial system of India decided to make changes or to make reforms in Indian financial system. So these reforms were made because efficient banking system and well working capital market are very important to mobilize savings of the household and also make best use out of those savings. So if the financial system is not properly working, it is of no use to make savings in the financial system, and also those savings can never be utilized properly. Therefore, to use the savings in a best possible way, these reforms were introduced in Indian financial system. Financial sector is the backbone of every economy, and it plays a very important role in mobilization and also allocation of resources. As blood is very important for humans, in the same way financial sector is also very important for the economy. So without finance, economy cannot function. Therefore, managing the financial system in a right and proper manner is very important. The constituents of the financial sector are banks, financial institutions, financial instruments, and markets, which mobilize the resources or which mobilizes the funds from surplus sector and channelize the same to the different needy sectors in the economy. In simple, it means that it takes the funds from the savers or the one who have surplus money, and it gives those funds to those who need money, which means it links between the borrowers and the savers. It acts as an intermediate between the borrowers and savers. Therefore, financial sector reforms or changes in financial sectors have long been regarded as a very important part of policy reforms in every developing country. This was because they were expected to increase the efficiency of resource mobilization and allocation in real economy, which in turn was expected to generate higher rate of growth. So the proper functioning of financial system was very important because it connects between the savers and borrowers, which means it mobilizes the resources and it helps in allocating those resources to get proper returns or to get proper efficient income. So therefore, the financial system should work in a right and proper way. Without the proper working of financial sector, the financial system cannot function properly. Therefore, the financial sector reforms were introduced in India in the year 1991. Reforms means to improve the efficiency of the resources and ensure financial stability and also maintain confidence in the financial system by increasing its efficiency. So what work does financial sector reform does? It helps in improving the allocation of resources. It helps in proper allocation or proper application of the resources or proper use of the resources, and also helps in maintaining financial stability. It helps in removing the instability or the changes in financial status or the movement of upward or downward movement of finance. It works in maintaining stable financial system. The economic reform process covered two serious crises, that are balance of payment crisis and the problem faced by banking system. So in the year 1991, Indian financial system faced two big problems. That was, there was a problem in balance of payments. So it was unstable or it was not maintained properly, and the other problem was the problem faced by banking systems. So most of the funds of banking were transferred or given to government in the form of SLR and CRR. Therefore, the banks had no funds to grant loans to other corporate sectors, and this was the major problem in Indian financial system during 1991. So to overcome or to remove these problems, the financial sector reforms were introduced. So what are the goals of financial sector reforms, or what are the objectives of financial sector reforms? The first one is, the main objective of financial sector reform is to allocate the resources efficiently, which increases the return on investment and accelerate the growth of real sector in economy. So the most important work of financial sector reform was to allocate the resources efficiently. It worked to utilize the resources in a best way, which gave higher returns, which were increasing the return on investments. So it worked to it worked to increase the profits on the investments made, and also it helped in growth of real financial sector in the economy. It wanted to help in making the economy grow and develop. And next one is create an efficient, competitive and stable market that could contribute measures to stimulate growth. So financial sector reforms, what it did was it tried to improve the economy by using efficient and competitive methods. So the banking sector reforms wanted the Indian banks to be more competitive in international market. So the financial system, or the Narsimham committee wanted the banking system to be competitive in international market also. They wanted Indian banks to represent themselves in international market as also. Therefore they created efficient and competitive and also stable environment, which made the banks work properly, and also it helped in increasing the return to banks. Next one is relaxation in the external constraint in the operation of banking sector, restructuring, recapitalizing in the competitive element in the market through the entry of new banks. So in the year 1991, a major change in Indian economy occurred. What is that? That is introduction of LPG, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. By introducing these reforms, Indian market was opened to new banks, or it was opened for the entry of new banks, and many banks were nationalized. Many banks came under the control of RBI. So RBI controlled many banks and removed most of the restrictions on bank which were harmful for the function of banking. So the banks were relaxed by reduction of interest rates, and many other steps were taken to improve the functioning of banking, and also improving the growth of banks, and also it helped in getting more returns, right? Next one is increased transparency in the banking system through the introduction of prudential norms, and increased the role of market forces due to deregulated interest rates. So first only we saw that banks were facing many issues. There was no transparency in banking financial position, and there was no match between the balance sheet and the financial position of the banks. Therefore RBI controlled the banks and helped in increasing transparency in the bank, and which in return led to financial which in return led to balance in the financial position. The balance in the balance sheet and the financial position was properly maintained, or was balanced, or it was same. So it helps in deregulating interest rates. It helped in decreasing interest rates, and the banks were properly functioned with proper rules and regulations. Next one, remove financial repression and provide operational and functional autonomy to the institutions. So banks were given freedom to operate both in operational sector and as well as functional sector. So banks were given freedom to operate and also to function. Not only banks but all the financial institutions were given freedom. Earlier there was no freedom for the financial institutions because of monopoly, but later on, after 1991, banks were given more freedom to work in a right way, but they were controlled by the regulatory institutions. Last one is promote the maintenance of financial stability even in the face of domestic and external shocks. Even both in domestic market and also in foreign market, the financial stability was maintained, or it worked to maintain financial stability. So it reduced the fluctuations in finance.